The glass bowl belonged to the owner's late husband's family. It was their family heirloom. It was in a glass company known as Lotz, which was a very famous glass manufacturer of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. It originally began as a regional glassworks that produced practical glass and became an internationally recognized company that created unique artistic designs. By the late 19th century, Lutz had become the leading company in the new Art Nouveau movement, producing artistically made glass that challenged Tiffany in America and Gallet in France. Lutz won the highest award at the Exposition Universelle in Paris in 1900, and the St. Louis World's Fair in 1904, where Lutz won the highest awards. The piece was likely bought directly from Austria.
That when the pieces were made for export, they were signed. When they weren't made for export, they were unsigned. So I have a feeling that somebody went to Austria to pick up this piece.
The bronze holder was made by a company called Orvit. Orvit AG was a German company that started in Cologne in 1894. They were known for their high-quality metals and silver-plated goods.
There are no marks on the bottom of this either, which leads me to believe that both companies were not intending to export this.
The glass made by Lutz and Tiffany is very similar because of its quality and design, but the oil spotting decoration on the outside of the glass was one of Lutz's signature designs. This piece would be sold for a price of...
In a retail shop, this would sell for between $1,500 and $2,000.
Oh, wow, that's great.
The bull bronze sculpture belonged to his uncle, and it was given to him by a philanthropist in the early 1900s. Isidor Bonheur was born in 1827. He was a well-known French sculptor, and he was popular for his realistic animal sculptures. He was part of the famous Bonheur family of artists. His older sister, Rosa Bonheur, was one of the famous painters of animals in the 19th century. Isidore studied at the École des Beaux-Arts in Paris and specialized in bronze sculptures, often depicting horses, cattle, and other livestock with a very clean accuracy. It's valued at a price of about...
It's worth around $6,000 to $8,000. It's a really good example of a Bonheur bronze from this time period.
Wow.
That's great.
The guest brought a hat, a picture, and a cartoon drawing. All of them belonged to her ancestor Jonas van Zuyser. The hat was given to him by the 26th President of the U.S., Theodore Roosevelt, because of his support as a member of Roosevelt's new party. In 1912, Roosevelt created another party that was called the Progressive Party, also known as the Bull Moose Party. But this was after Roosevelt had lost the Republican nomination election to William Taft. He claimed that it was rigged, and he left the party with his supporters. Roosevelt became the presidential candidate for the Progressive Party, going against the Republicans and Democrats. Now, this is where Jonas van Zuyser comes in. Being a strong supporter for Roosevelt, Zuyser helped the party in gathering supporters for Roosevelt's candidacy. And even though neither Taft nor Roosevelt won the election, Zuyser was given this hat by Roosevelt as a big supporter and member of the Progressive Party.
So, as a member of the Bull Moose Party, Teddy Roosevelt gives your ancestor this hat. And you can see your ancestor wearing the hat in the photograph. It actually has the gift presentation. So it says TR to JVD. So Teddy Roosevelt to Jonas Van Zuyser.
The caricature over here was made by a popular political cartoon creator of their day named Zimmerman because of the failure of the Progressive Party. The Progressive Party was never successful. Out of the 138 nominated members of the party, only 5 were ever elected. So the caricature shows Zuyser hanging his hat, pointing to him dropping out of the race. And the chip on his shoulder represents the chip the Progressive Party members had when they broke out of the Republican Party. Both the hat, picture, and cartoon drawing would be valued at an estimate of...
An auction estimate of $3,000 to $5,000. Wow.
Our guest purchased this vase in Leningrad, Russia, after the Second World War. It has the monogram of Nicholas II and is dated 1909. Our guest used it for tall flowers and branches for many years. This vase was made by Imperial Glass, the finest manufacturer of glass in Russia. It features a beautiful engraved floral design with an Art Nouveau feel. The design was hand-carved using a copper wheel, making it very expensive to produce. Unlike more commercial pieces, this vase has a high lead content and is very thick and heavy. At auction, this Russian vase could easily fetch a value of,
I would say the price you would have on it would certainly be in the $5,000 to $7,000 range.
That sounds very, very, very good.
This violin has been cherished as a family heirloom for generations, handed down from the guest's father, who was an Air Force Major General. He likely purchased it in Germany around the mid-1970s. Rather than playing it, the whole family admired its unique features, such as,
I think that the lion carving for the top of the peg box makes it really, really unique. Indeed, it looks like it's been a beloved violin. You can tell by the creases in the fingerboard that the strings make as it's played, and that this has been a violin that's been played.
Inside the violin, the guest discovered intriguing labels in languages she couldn't decipher. Its back, made of bird's eye maple, reflects its German craftsmanship heritage. Among the labels inside, one attributed to Niccolo Amati turned out to be false, while another revealed a surprising maker's mark. It was made by Matthias Hornsteiner in Mittenwald in 1781. Mittenwald, nestled in the Bavarian Alps, has been renowned for violin making since the 1600s. The violin remains remarkably preserved, with all its original features intact. The estimated value of this piece is,
We would put a retail value on it of $20,000.
Oh my, really? Really?
That's right, and that's conservative.
we proudly present a baseball signed by some of the legends of the game. One of such signatures is that of a man celebrated as the first African American to break the color barrier in modern Major League Baseball, Jackie Robinson. Robinson's signing with the Dodgers signaled the end of racial segregation in professional baseball.
Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier in the major leagues in 1947. Teams and fans were mostly segregated.
Another signature is that of a distinguished catcher for the Brooklyn Dodgers, Roy Campanella. His career was tragically cut short due to paralysis from a car accident in January 1958. Then there's the signature of the first black pitcher to win a World Series game in 1952, Joe Black. Belonging to a versatile second baseman and coach for the Dodgers, the man whose signature appears here was honored as a National League Rookie of the Year in 1953, Junior Gilliam. The baseball features the autographs of all four players, collected at Wrigley Field during a 1953 game between the Dodgers and the Cubs. On the other side, it also holds the distinguished signature of an iconic center fielder, known for his extraordinary career, Ty Cobb. For insurance purposes, this remarkable piece would be appraised at,
I'd place an insurance value of $15,000 on the ball.
Thanks for sharing it with us.
Oh, happy to be here.
The guest brought a violin she'd appraised and was informed that the label inside was a forgery. The violin was identified as a labeled Joseph Hornsteiner, Mittenwald, 1792 piece. Joseph Hornsteiner violins are good for beginners due to their good quality and user-friendly models. Being the maker for over 2 centuries, the Hornsteiner dynasty excelled both in longevity of the line and reputation. Their violins were so famous that even the Gläsel firm in Germany currently offers a Hornsteiner model. To the guest's amazement, the appraiser multiplied the initial cost of this violin by 10 and valued the piece to be.
You bought it for how much?
$700.
Try times 10.
Yes, $8,000, $7,000 to $8,000.
While living in Denver, a gentleman offered the guest a trunk for $25, which he used as a coffee table in front of his sofa for nearly 40 years. The trunk was identified as a Louis Vuitton piece, likely made in the mid to late 19th century, with each leather piece stamped Louis Vuitton. There was also an ironing board within the trunk, emphasizing its sturdiness. The trunk's value was estimated to be between
a trunk like this would probably be worth $6,000 to $8,000.
Oh.
This robe evokes a nostalgic feeling for many Asian antique collectors. It is a Chinese festival robe, crafted in 1880. When you take a close look at it, the robe appears to be newly made, and this is because the Chinese were masters in the craft of weaving. The patterns on the robe provide a distinctive and appealing look. A look at the bottom reveals a strip called lishui, created through embroidery.
What happens is, in terms of embroidery, that technique is very, very easy to do.
Okay.
So the earlier robes do less of it, and the later robes do more of it.
Robes like these were worn on special occasions, such as weddings or festivals. Since the patterns are unique, they help bring the wearer to the center of attention.
So there'd be many women around the house who'd be doing nothing but embroidery and cooking in the household.
I see.
So they'd be producing things like this in vast quantities for usage for the family.
This robe was worn by the imperial household, and thus would retail at the auction price of
for this robe to sell for at least $6,000.
Oh, wow.
The couple discovered a box containing these books in the house they purchased. This 1910 third edition of American Woods by R.B. Hugh is esteemed in dendrology. This edition, part of a multi-volume series, meticulously and comprehensively catalogues North American tree species. American Woods volumes feature descriptions, uses, habitats, and mounted wood samples. These plates have different types of woods. These samples let readers see the unique grains and textures firsthand. In 14 volumes, over 1,000 American trees are identified by wood samples. Recognizing its significance in the study of trees, the appraiser valued the item.
Approximately $30,000.
You're kidding.
In about 1982, the guest acquired this pot from a friend for $20, hoping it would be a Gruby vase. The pot indeed had characteristics similar to a Gruby piece, such as its organic design with carved leaves, buds, and buttressed feet. However, it was identified as not a Gruby piece. Instead, it was a piece of Wheatley pottery from Cincinnati, made by Thomas Wheatley, who had created art and craft pieces similar to Gruby's style. This pot was molded rather than hand-thrown and carved, as Gruby pieces typically were. The appraiser praised the pot's form, color, and glaze. Even with a small chip on the foot, he estimated its auction value to be between.
At auction, this would sell for somewhere in the $1,500 to $2,000 range.
Oh, wow. If it had been an actual Gruby, the value could have exceeded $20,000. The Patek Philippe watch is a perfect representation of exhilarating luxury. As the creator of some of the world's most expensive watches,
which is a company founded in Switzerland in the 1830s. And their great contribution to watches was Mr. Philippe discovered how you could wind and set the watch at a crown, getting rid of watch keys.
This gold pocket watch is no different, being made from real gold. A watch like this is rare to come by and surely serves as an extremely valuable heirloom. The movement of this watch at the time of its making was revolutionary. Close examination of the watch reveals it was made in 1928, and it remains unscathed. This watch, at the time of its creation, was designed to be a special piece.
But if you look closely at this watch, you will see right about there a small seal from the Geneva Observatory that tells you that this was a certified chronometer. It was a special watch.
It is believed watches like this one were used by the rich to show off their wealth. If this luxurious gold pocket watch were to be auctioned in today's market, it would sell for. A guest brought in a pair of chairs, which he believed were from the 1960s. The chairs, which belonged to her grandmother, were purchased from the Knights of Columbus for $5. The appraiser identified the chairs as original Eames chairs by Charles and Ray Eames, dating back to 1949.
They're a little earlier than you think. They're 1949.
Oh, wow.
So the design came about in 1947. It was a MoMA design competition.
These specific chairs were some of the earliest models, featuring several distinctive elements. The label on the underside indicated a Herman Miller Zenith Plastics collaboration from 1949. Additionally, the chairs had a rope edge in the fiberglass and a slightly transparent parchment color when illuminated. Although the chairs were in good condition, one of them had a crack, which affected its value. Considering their desirability, the auction value suggested was
The auction value would have been about $2,000.
a tankard, a solid silver piece distinguished by its craftsmanship from the Georgian period in England, is the item at the center of attention. This tankard has been in the family for several years, initially given to the guest's father. Seeking more information, the guest had it appraised at a retail store for $300, with no further details provided. It features a distinctive scroll handle and intricate marks on the lid and side. Marks on the tankard indicate it was crafted during the reign of George II in London, dating back to 1737. Robert Brown is the silversmith responsible for its creation. It was confirmed by the precise English hallmarking system, renowned for accuracy and identifying silver item origins and quality. If placed in a well-advertised auction, its estimated worth ranges from
a good estimated value for this tankard is about $4,000 to $6,000.
Is that right?
Guest's father, a post-World War II architect with a passion for neoclassical features, amassed a vast library of encyclopedias and books. Among these is an incredible selection of works by the renowned 18th century Italian printmaker Giovanni Piranesi. Piranesi, born in Venice, moved to Rome in 1740 and mastered printmaking to document Roman architecture. One volume features a series of etchings depicting Roman architectural history. Another significant volume, Magnificenza, argues that Roman architecture was inspired by the Etruscans rather than the Greeks. Piranesi's collection of 330 detailed, beautiful, and historically significant prints is highly valued. These volumes, in early 19th century bindings, are remarkably well preserved without foxing or wormholes, which is uncommon for their age.
That's not uncommon, shipping, but these bindings are early 19th century. The one that we're holding now is 18th century.
Nevertheless, the entire collection has an aggregate auction value estimated between,
grouped together, I think the aggregate auction value for the whole collection would be in the range of $50,000 to $70,000.
Thank you, Dad.
A French clock, identified as a crystal regulator, is the centerpiece of a family's heirloom collection. It boasts an oversized and ornate design, typical of European craftsmanship.
Mechanically, clocks like this are very, very good quality, and this really represents a period of about 1900 when these were made.
Sought after by affluent families on Bellevue Avenue during the early 20th century. Constructed in brass with a fire-gilded finish that remarkably retains its original luster, this clock is known for its intricate mechanics and exquisite glass detailing on all sides. Such clocks, revered for their craftsmanship and mechanical precision, epitomize the luxurious taste of the era around 1900. Its historical provenance and exceptional condition make it a prized possession. Recently serviced to ensure its functionality, the clock's current appraisal value is between
Estimate on this clock somewhere in the neighborhood of $8,000 to $10,000.
Wow, love that.
A lamp purchased at an auction in 1985 in Charlottesville, Virginia, caught the eye of the guest for its resemblance to one seen in the movie The Sting with Paul Newman. Subsequent reading of a magazine article identified the maker as Dirk Van Erp. Dirk Van Erp, a Dutch immigrant who settled in Northern Carolina in the late 19th century, crafted the lamp.
And became a pioneer and leading figure in the American arts and crafts decorative arts field.
Bearing his signature windmill mark, the lamp dates to circa 1910 to 1912 as indicated by a closed box design. Constructed of copper and mica, the lamp features rivets showcasing Van Erp's craftsmanship and attention to detail. Despite needing cleaning, the lamp remains in good condition. At auction, such early and well-preserved Van Erp lamps typically command prices ranging around.
And I would expect this at auction to sell for in the region of $20,000 to $25,000.
You kidding me?
I am not kidding.
Wow.
A poster of Mount St. Helens from the 1940s, specifically post-World War II, is being discussed. This Northern Pacific Railroad poster and others belong to the guest's friend's father, a World War II veteran. Among the collection is another Northern Pacific poster featuring a locomotive, illustrated by Gustav Krollman. Despite its poor condition, this poster showcases the North Coast Limited, a famous locomotive of the time. Another notable poster is of Yellowstone Park, depicting Old Faithful, created by Edward Bremer. These posters capture the essence of American history and post-war railway advertising. Dating back to the 1930s, such posters have become highly collectible in the poster field due to their historical significance and collectible nature. At auction, these posters are valued at around
The Yellowstone Park Old Faithful sold just last year for $2,800.
You gotta be kidding me.
And the image of the locomotive...
I don't want to know, I think.
Jacket belonging to Carroll O'Connor, known for his role as Archie Bunker, was found at an estate sale in Malibu, California. This jacket is in excellent condition, and it came from O'Connor's daughter-in-law after his wife's passing. O'Connor's jacket returned fond memories of the guests' family enjoying the show together, All in the Family, which was known for challenging social stereotypes through humor, with Archie Bunker as the central figure.
This guy in this jacket just changing America by being a bigot, and everybody could see the humor in that.
Despite not being custom made, it holds significant value due to its provenance. Photos of O'Connor wearing the jacket on the show, complete with his distinctive flag lapel pin, authenticate its history. In a memorable scene with Sammy Davis Jr., where a kiss broke the show's laugh record, the coat is visible. In pristine condition, at auction, the jacket is valued at...
At auction, this is worth $10,000 to $15,000.
No! You are kidding me!
No, I'm not. No.
This guest and her husband discovered an oil painting, dated 1953, by Kenneth Nunaker, a self-taught artist associated with the Pennsylvania Impressionist movement. Known for his vigorous brushworks, influenced by Edward Redfield, Nunaker often painted en plein air, capturing scenes with vibrant energy. Titled Bill's Place, the painting was acquired for a mere $2, surprising the guest with its artistic quality. It bears Nunaker's signature and is marked with the locations New Hope, Pennsylvania, and Center Bridge, where the artist lived and worked.
Label from 1874. Now, the difficult thing with these is putting a price on them. Each one is different.
Due to the rarity of Nunaker's works on the market, its auction value is between...
Oh, it's wonderful. It's very exciting.
Good.
A collection of flags were discussed, highlighting their historical significance and unique characteristics. 3 specific flags from Texas and US history reflect unique star arrangements following Texas's admission as the 28th state in 1845. The first flag features red, white, and blue stripes, suggested by Benjamin Franklin.
However, Benjamin Franklin told the French, in looking for our ships, to look for a flag with red, white, and blue stripes.
Diverging from traditional US flag designs, stars on this flag were painted in a way to create a dimensional effect. Originally a 32-star flag, the second flag had space for extra stars that were never added, which was common among flag makers then. On one side, the stars are hand-appliqued, while on the other side, the blue canton is cut to create peek-through stars. Arranged in a great luminary or great star pattern, the third flag displays stars forming the shape of a larger star.
And because Iowa was added later on in December of that year, this flag was only official for 1 year, so it's a pretty rare flag.
Reflecting their historical significance, this collection of 3 great flags is valued at around...
Value-wise, the Great Luminary would probably go at auction today for somewhere between $14,000 and $16,000.
Doesn't want a palm tree in their living room. This was the thought that led the celebrity to purchase a striking brass palm tree. They love this piece, describing it as a bold statement of success.
I think it said it was from a hotel lobby from the late 60s, I think almost even actually early 70s.
Purchased online for about $5,000 to $6,000, the piece was listed as being from a hotel lobby, dating back to the late 60s or early 70s. It was one of the first significant purchases the celebrity made, driven by its wild and unique appeal. When asked if they knew which hotel it came from, the celebrity admitted they never found out, but joked that it could have belonged to an old lady in Miami with a fabulous sense of style. The appraiser remarked that if it were from one of the iconic Miami Beach hotels, it could add significant value. However, even without that provenance, the piece is a cool and sculptural example of 50s interior design, likely made in Asia or South America. The appraiser estimated its auction value would be around...
I'd probably estimate it at auction in the $4,000 to $6,000 range, about what you paid for it. It's really a striking piece for the corner of your home.
Yeah, I love it.
He affirmed that it's a striking piece, perfect for the corner of any home. This charming English bracket clock, chimes every quarter hour and strikes the hour with a beautiful gong. The guest estimates the clock's age to be between 1770 and 1780.
It is signed by a maker in Brighton, England. I tried to find out some information on the maker and...
Beautiful finish is actually celluloid, designed to resemble tortoiseshell. The expert corrects the age, placing it between 1851 and 1878, made by the Brighton clockmaker, Boxall. It features a unique silent strike option, perfect for peaceful nights. Exquisite details include a silver chapter ring, elegant mounts, and scrolled feet with traces of gold. Interestingly, the clock is signed and numbered on the back. Despite the imitation shell, the appraiser values the clock at...
In a retail setting, I would suspect that this clock would sell for around $4,500.
Okay. I know he had a son later, in a later period.
Right.